Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right in today because we are unpacking something truly, and I mean truly fascinating. We're going to impartially examine a highly unique, esoteric document recorded on January 8, 2020. This text claims to be nothing less than a literal, spiritual interview with the guardian spirit of legendary sci-fi creator George Lucas. Now, whether you view this as a fascinating piece of modern spiritual literature, an alternative theological framework, or just a really deep dive into esoteric philosophy, our goal today is to break down exactly what this source material is saying, using its very own words and concepts. So, let's get into it. When residents of the solar system and other galaxies clash, different messiahs appear. It's like a Jedi Master. Right out of the gate, this is the paradigm-shifting claim at the absolute core of our source material. The text is asserting that some of the most famous science fiction movies of our time, well, they aren't just Hollywood imagination. Not at all. Instead, it claims they are grounded in billions of years of actual cosmic history and real intergalactic events. It's proposing that fiction is actually a reflection of universal reality. So here is our roadmap for how we're going to unpack this. 1. Star Wars as true history. 2. Light, dark, and inner calm. 3. Zoroaster, Zen, and emptiness. And 4. Awakening the space age.
Okay, starting off with Section 1, Star Wars as true history.
According to the text we're looking at here, the Guardian Spirit explicitly claims that out in the universe, real space fleets and smaller spacecraft actually exist. They engage in conflicts much like different countries do right here on Earth, and this has been going on for billions of years of actual cosmic history. And when residents of these different galaxies clash, cosmic messiahs emerge to guide people toward true justice. The text literally compares these real cosmic messiahs to Jedi Masters, stating that there are many of them across the universe constantly fighting against master-level evils. It's presenting a physical, breathing universe that perfectly mirrors the movies.
Moving right along to Section 2, Light, Dark, and Inner Calm.
This brings us to the core spiritual conflict. The source material basically takes classic cinematic morality and translates it into a strict theological framework. On one side, you have the dark side, which the text explicitly boils down to greed, specifically the greed to conquer other people, other countries, or even other planets. And when that greed concentrates, it becomes a gigantic evil. On the opposing side is the light. But here's the interesting part. The light isn't about physical power at all. It's about knowing your inner self and connecting to a harmony that comes directly from God. So what's the exact mechanism for fighting this gigantic evil? Well, the text states that even if the dark side's power grows massive, you can restore the balance of the universe simply by making yourself calm. It really emphasizes this specific concept of calm as a powerful active force. By quieting the mind and actively rejecting the greed of conquest, the text says an individual channels God's harmony to literally rebalance the universe.
Let's dive a little deeper with Section 3, Zoroaster, Zen, and emptiness.
According to the document, the speaker's own spiritual guide is an entity known on Earth as Zarathustra, or Zoroaster. Now, for those familiar with ancient history, Zoroastrianism is one of the world's oldest religions, and it's famously centered around the cosmic dualism of light and darkness. The text asserts a direct, profound connection between the ancient battle of Ahura Mazda and Ahriman, the Zoroastrian concepts of supreme light and evil, and the modern cinematic battles between the Jedi and the Sith. In fact, the speaker claims they were actually there at the very beginning of this ancient earthly struggle.
But it doesn't stop at Zoroastrianism. It beautifully bridges into Eastern philosophy as well. It heavily emphasizes the Zen Buddhist concept of ku, or emptiness. According to this spiritual interview, we humans are way too focused on colors, physical bodies, and material things. The text explicitly calls all of these things vanity. To reach true reality, one must perish these illusions and actively seek emptiness. It presents this profound paradox. If you seek reality in material things, you just find emptiness. But if you seek true spiritual emptiness, you finally reach reality.
The text actually goes even further, specifically mentioning the spirit of Japanese Bushido and Zen Buddhism. The overarching message is that the true spiritual power isn't about, moving physical objects around. It's about deep enlightenment. It's about returning to the origin, which the text metaphorically describes as being inside the great stomach of the Buddha, a place that is dark yet strangely bright. Entering this origin, this emptiness, is what the text ultimately defines as true enlightenment.
And finally, Section 4. Awakening the space age.
The text lays out a very specific, twofold mission for why these famous science fiction narratives were given to us in the first place. First, they serve as a massive global warning bell. It claims humanity is rapidly entering a new space age, one filled with futuristic societies, advanced machines, and inevitable cosmic interactions. The stories were meant to prepare human consciousness for this new reality. But the second point? That's even more fascinating. The Guardian Spirit claims that its globally recognized work is merely setting the stage for something, or someone, much larger.
And that brings us to what I think is one of the most striking phrases in the entire document. The text uses the term pre-advice, or in Japanese, Jizen Tsuchisho, which translates to an advance notice or preliminary announcement. Think about that for a second. Despite the massive worldwide pop culture influence of these sci-fi stories, the Guardian Spirit humbly positions all of it as merely the opening act. The text claims its ultimate purpose was simply to act as the pre-advice for the coming of a great savior who will guide humanity through this next cosmic era.
Which leaves us with a truly fascinating proposition to ponder. The source material we just unpacked uses our deep familiarity with blockbuster myths to present a serious theological warning about universal greed, the absolute necessity of deep inner calm, and a rapidly approaching future. So, if, as this text claims, our most popular modern myths are actually just advanced notices for a new cosmic reality, how will humanity respond when the true space age finally arrives? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.